welcome back. I'm glad you've returned to the silence. It is time for the world to fade and for the mind to wander. For tonight, the stars are our only destination. We leave the familiar behind to witness the silent beauty of the cosmos as we begin our long, drifting journey toward the moon, our silver companion in the boundless deep. This shimmering pearl has hung in the velvet night for billions of years, serving as a quiet witness to the unfolding history of our home planet and the wider solar system. As we move away from the glowing lights of Earth, the moon grows larger and more luminous, a magnificent orb of soft grays and brilliant whites that anchors our world in the eternal dark. It is a place of profound stillness, where the concept of time feels as vast and untouchable as the stars that surround it. The moon is more than just a distant light in the sky. It is a vital partner in a grand celestial dance that has shaped the very nature of life on Earth. Its gentle gravitational pull acts like a rhythmic breath, drawing the vast oceans toward it, and then releasing them in the slow, predictable pulse of the tides. This invisible bond creates a harmony between our world and its satellite, a connection that has existed since the earliest days of our planet's formation. Without this steadying presence, the Earth would wobble on its axis like a spinning top losing its momentum, leading to a climate that would be far less hospitable and calm. We owe the very stability of our seasons and the predictable flow of our days to this silent guardian that watches over us from the heights of the cosmic ocean. As we drift closer to the lunar surface, we begin to appreciate the complex history written into its craters and its vast, dusty plains. The origin of this world is a story of cosmic transformation, a graceful merging of energies that occurred in the early, molten stages of our solar system's birth. Leading scientific theories suggest that a smaller celestial body once shared a path with the young Earth, eventually becoming part of its story in a profound event that released a shimmering cloud of debris into orbit. Over millions of years, this glowing ring of material slowly gathered itself together, cooling and solidifying into the beautiful sphere we see tonight. This process of celestial rebirth created a world that is chemically linked to our own, yet entirely unique in its silent, airless majesty. The landscape of the moon is a museum of the ancient past, preserved in a vacuum where there is no wind or rain to wear away the memories of the eons. Each crater is a testament to a moment when the solar system was still finding its rhythm, a mark of a peaceful encounter with wandering stones from the deep. These features remain sharp and clear, providing us with a window into a time when the planets were still forming their final shapes. The vast, dark areas we call seas are actually ancient plains of solidified lava, smooth and inviting in their gray stillness, reflecting a time when the moon's interior was warm and active. Now it rests in a state of eternal peace, a world of shadows and soft highlights that invites us to look closer and learn the secrets held within its ancient crust. Tonight, we will explore the depths of this lunar world, from the fine, powdery regolith that covers its surface to the strange magnetic mysteries hidden beneath its mountains. We will walk through the science of its geology and the way its presence continues to influence the very ground beneath our feet on Earth. There is a sense of profound wonder in realizing that this distant object is made of the same fundamental elements as ourselves. A piece of the Earth that was set free to wander the stars. As the silence of space envelops us, we prepare to enter a world of light and shadow, where every scientific detail is a thread in the beautiful tapestry of the cosmos. Let us begin our descent toward the shimmering plains, moving deeper into the history of our closest neighbor, as the rest of the universe fades into a soft, velvet background. Imagine a time long ago when the solar system was young and vibrant with potential energy, and a celestial body roughly the size of Mars, which scientists call Theia, moved through the darkness on a path that would eventually weave its destiny with the early Earth. This was not a moment of destruction, but a majestic merging of two worlds, a soft and rhythmic release of energy that forever altered the landscape of our corner of the galaxy. The heat generated by this luminous encounter was like a warm, glowing embrace, turning both bodies into a shared ocean of molten starlight that stretched across the boundless void. From this shimmering union, a vast ring of silicate vapor and liquid stone began to circle the Earth, cooling slowly into the foundation of the moon we see today. It is a story of profound transformation, where the essence of two distinct entities became one, creating the silver companion that now guides our tides and watches over our nights. This giant impact hypothesis remains our most beautiful explanation for how a piece of the young Earth was set free to become a world of its own. The chemical fingerprints found within lunar rocks tell a story of a shared heritage, a bond so deep it is written into the very atoms of the stone that makes up the lunar highlands. When we examine the oxygen isotopes of the moon, we find that they are nearly identical to those found in the Earth's mantle, suggesting that these two bodies were born from the same cosmic reservoir. This scientific realization paints a picture of a family connection, where the moon is not a stranger from a distant part of the nebula, but a reflection of our own world's early self. This rare and perfect similarity distinguishes our satellite from other moons in the solar system, which often carry their own unique chemical signatures from distant parts of the stellar nursery. It is as if the Earth reached out into the void and left a part of its heart behind, a piece of home that now hangs in the boundless silence of space. Every grain of lunar dust carries the memory of this ancient connection, bridging the gap between the terrestrial and the celestial with a quiet, shimmering persistence. In the earliest days after its formation, the moon was not the cold, gray world we recognize, but a shimmering orb of liquid fire known as a magma ocean. This deep reservoir of molten rock covered the entire surface, glowing softly against the dark velvet of the primordial sky as it began its long journey toward solidification. Over millions of years, the heavier minerals slowly began to sink toward the center, while the lighter elements rose like cooling foam on a cosmic sea. This process of differentiation was a slow and rhythmic dance of gravity and temperature, layering the moon's interior with precision and grace. As the surface heat radiated away into the cold vacuum, the first solid structures began to emerge, forming the very bones of the lunar landscape we admire tonight. We can still see the remnants of this molten era in the vast highlands, which stand as silent monuments to the time when the moon was a world of flowing, luminous energy. The formation of the lunar crust was a quiet and elegant event, as minerals like plagioclase feldspar began to crystallize within the cooling magma ocean. These lighter crystals floated upward through the dense liquid, accumulating on the surface to create the bright, rugged highlands that we observe from our windows on Earth. This process is much like the way ice forms on a still lake, creating a protective shell that preserves the mysteries of the interior beneath its pale, reflective surface. This original crust, known as a northosite, is some of the oldest material in the solar system, holding within it the secrets of the moon's infancy and the early conditions of the inner planets. As these crystals gathered, they formed a complex and shimmering network of stone, a boundless terrain of mountains and valleys that would eventually be sculpted by the touch of passing stars. To touch a piece of the lunar highland is to touch the very beginning of time, a frozen memory of a world finding its permanent form in the eternal silence. Before the modern understanding of the moon's birth took hold, some visionary thinkers proposed that our satellite was once a physical part of the Earth itself, separated by the sheer force of a rapid, spinning rhythm. This idea, often called the fission hypothesis, suggests that the young Earth was rotating with such immense speed that it became elongated and graceful in its motion. Eventually, a massive portion of the Earth's outer layers was said to have drifted away into the dark, settling into a stable orbit as a separate and shimmering entity. Proponents of this beautiful concept often pointed to the vast basin of the Pacific Ocean as the place where this celestial parting might have occurred. While modern science has found other ways to explain our shared history, the poetry of this theory remains a testament to our deep-seated feeling that the moon is a literal piece of our world. It reflects an intuitive understanding that we are bound to our satellite by more than just gravity, sharing a history that is both intimate and eternal. In another corner of scientific thought, there exists a vision of the moon as a wandering traveler, a celestial nomad that once drifted through the boundless reaches of the inner solar system. This theory suggests that the moon formed in a distant part of the nebula, embarking on a long and silent journey across the velvet dark before approaching the Earth's gravitational embrace. As it moved past our world, the Earth's gentle pull acted like a soft net, slowing the traveler down and inviting it to stay for an eternity of quiet companionship. This capture would have been a delicate and shimmering alignment of speed and distance, a perfect moment where the path of a wanderer became the path of a guardian. Although the chemical evidence points toward a more local origin, the idea of the moon as a visitor from the stars adds a layer of mystery to its presence. It reminds us that the universe is a place of constant motion, where even the most distant objects can find a home and a purpose in the silence of the night. Some scientific perspectives invite us to imagine the Earth and the moon growing up together, twin worlds emerging from the same swirling cloud of dust and gas at the dawn of time. In this narrative of co-formation, the two bodies gathered material simultaneously from the protoplanetary disk, spinning around a common center of mass as they solidified into spheres. They were born as partners, nourished by the same cosmic materials and shaped by the same rhythmic forces of the early solar system. This constant proximity would have meant that they shared every stage of their development, from the first spark of gravity to the final settling of their crusts. Such a shared beginning would explain the deep similarities in their compositions, portraying the moon not as a guest or a fragment, but as an equal sibling of the Earth. It is a comforting thought to imagine our two worlds always having been together, a dual system dancing through the void, since the very first light of the sun reached out into the dark. As the moon settled into its solid form, it experienced a long period of cosmic transformation as it moved through a region of space filled with drifting fragments of the early nebula. These gentle encounters with wandering stones from the deep served to sculpt the face of the moon, creating the magnificent basins and valleys that define its personality today. Each touch of a passing object brought new materials to the lunar surface, enriching its geology and creating a complex mosaic of mineral signatures. This era of reshaping was a time of great activity, yet it was also a process of refinement, turning a smooth sphere into a world of intricate and shimmering detail. The energy released during these moments helped to keep the moon's interior warm, allowing for the eventual flow of ancient lavas that would fill the lowest plains. This period of change was essential in creating the moon we love, a world whose every feature tells a story of the rhythmic movement of the cosmos. One of the most profound mysteries of our relationship with the moon is the way it always shows us the same familiar face, a phenomenon known as tidal locking. This graceful synchronicity is the result of billions of years of gravitational interaction, where the Earth's pull has slowly slowed the moon's rotation until it matched its orbit around us. It is as if the moon has chosen to keep its eyes fixed upon us, never turning away from the world that anchors it in the eternal dark. This constant gaze creates a sense of deep intimacy, a feeling that our satellite is a dedicated observer of our oceans, our forests, and our dreams. The far side of the moon remains hidden in a veil of soft shadow and mystery, a place of quiet solitude that we can only see through the eyes of our drifting machines. This perfect balance of motion and rest is a testament to the patient power of gravity, a force that brings order and harmony to the chaotic beauty of the stars. The moon is a world where time has almost stood still, preserving the ancient history of our solar system in its layers of dust and stone for over 4 billion years. Unlike the Earth, which is constantly renewing its surface through the motion of plates and the breath of the atmosphere, the moon remains a pristine archive of the distant past. The rocks brought back from its shimmering plains are older than any stone found on our own planet, providing a direct link to the moments when the planets were first finding their place in the sun's light. This immense age gives the moon a quality of eternal wisdom, a sense that it has seen the rise and fall of countless eras from its position in the silent void. It stands as a silent witness to the long, drifting journey of our entire cosmic family, a steady and unchanging presence in a universe of constant flux. To look at the moon is to look back to the beginning of everything, finding a sense of peace in its ancient and unwavering light. The dark, smooth areas that create the features of the moon we see from Earth are known as maria, or seas, though they hold no water in their silent basins. These vast plains are actually composed of ancient basaltic lava that flowed across the surface billions of years ago, cooling into a dark and heavy stone that contrasts beautifully with the bright highlands. As the lava settled into the lowest points of the landscape, it created a smooth and shimmering texture that reflects less light, giving the moon its characteristic mottled appearance. These lunar seas serve as a map of the moon's volcanic history, showing us where the internal heat of the world once reached out to the surface in a slow and rhythmic pulse. Each sea, from the Sea of Tranquility to the Ocean of Storms, is a masterpiece of geological time, a frozen ocean of stone that rests under the eternal gaze of the stars. It is a profound realization to look up and see the remnants of such ancient movements, knowing that the darkness we observe is the result of liquid fire, finding its final, peaceful resting place in the boundless cold. Beneath the layers of dust and ancient basalt lies the moon's heart, a small and quiet core that is vastly different from the vibrant, churning center of the Earth. This inner sanctum is believed to be composed mostly of iron, with a smaller amount of sulfur and nickel, reaching out only a few hundred kilometers from the very center of the sphere. It is a dense and heavy region that has mostly cooled over the eons, though scientists believe a small portion of it may still remain in a soft and shimmering liquid state. This core is the anchor of the moon's gravity, a silent weight that holds the world together as it drifts through the boundless dark of the solar system. Even though it is small, this metallic heart played a vital role in the moon's early life, perhaps even generating a soft magnetic field that once protected its surface from the touch of the solar wind. Understanding the core allows us to appreciate the delicate balance of the lunar interior, where the heavy elements settled with grace during the world's first moments of creation. Traversing the lunar surface are long, winding channels known as rills, which look like the dried beds of celestial rivers carved into the gray dust. These elegant features were created by the movement of molten rock, forming tunnels and open trenches as the lava flowed across the terrain during the moon's active youth. Some rills are straight and sharp, marking places where the crust gently pulled apart, while others meander with a graceful, rhythmic curve across the plains of the Maria. They remind us of the fluid nature of the moon's past, a time when the surface was a canvas for the creative energy of the interior. Many of these channels were once underground lava tubes, hidden from the velvet silence of space, until their roofs softly collapsed to reveal the paths of the ancient fire. Walking along these paths in our minds, we see the intricate ways that the moon's heat sculpted its face, leaving behind a network of stone that speaks of a time when the ground was alive with movement. The moon carries a curious secret in the way its outer shell is formed, with a significant difference in thickness between the side that faces us and the side that remains hidden. The crust on the near side is relatively thin, allowing the internal lavas to reach the surface more easily and create the dark, smooth seas we know so well. In contrast, the far side of the moon possesses a much thicker and more rugged crust, which acted as a deep barrier that prevented the ancient magma from flowing outward into the basins. This asymmetry gives the two halves of the moon entirely different personalities, one a mosaic of light and shadow, and the other a boundless expanse of craters and mountains. Scientists believe this difference may have been caused by the warmth of the early Earth, which kept the near side of the moon soft and thin, while the far side cooled and thickened in the deep cold of the dark. This invisible influence from our home planet shaped the very structure of our neighbor, ensuring that the view we enjoy tonight is unique in all the cosmos. Deep within the basins of the lunar seas, there are hidden regions of high density known as mascons, where the pull of gravity is slightly stronger than in the surrounding areas. These mass concentrations were formed when large objects from the deep cosmos visited the moon, creating deep depressions that were later filled with heavy, iron-rich basalt. This extra weight beneath the surface creates a rhythmic variation in the moon's gravitational field, a subtle pulse that can be felt by any object drifting through the lunar orbit. These mascons act like invisible anchors within the stone, preserving the history of those ancient encounters in the very structure of the world. They provide a unique map of the moon's internal arrangement, showing how the weight of the basalt has settled into the foundations of the lunar landscape over billions of years. By mapping these variations, we gain a deeper understanding of the hidden layers that lie beneath the shimmering surface, finding order in the distribution of the moon's vast and heavy minerals. The mountains of the moon do not rise from the slow movement of tectonic plates like the peaks of the Earth, but are instead the majestic results of celestial transformations. When large objects arrived from the void, the energy of their arrival pushed the lunar crust upward, forming towering rings of stone that surround the largest impact basins. These peaks are ancient and unwavering, standing high above the gray plains as silent monuments to the moon's early encounters with the rest of the solar system. The lack of wind and rain means that these mountains remain as sharp and magnificent as the day they were born, their slopes covered in a fine, shimmering dust that catches the light of the distant sun. They are some of the tallest features in our immediate cosmic neighborhood, reaching toward the stars from the edges of the vast, quiet seas. Looking upon these heights, one feels the immense age of the landscape, a place where the mountains do not crumble, but stand as eternal witnesses to the history of the galaxy. Across the smooth surfaces of the Maria, one can find delicate, winding features called wrinkle ridges that resemble the folds in a soft piece of velvet. These ridges were formed as the moon slowly cooled, and its entire volume began to contract, causing the outer crust to press together and buckle in a rhythmic fashion. As the world became smaller and more solid, the heavy basalt of the seas was pushed upward into these long, shimmering lines that can stretch for hundreds of kilometers. They are the physical evidence of the moon's internal transition, a sign that the world was once settling and finding its permanent shape in the cold of space. These ridges provide a sense of texture to the dark plains, showing us that even a world as still as the moon has experienced a slow and graceful movement within its own skin. The patterns they form are like the lines on an ancient palm, telling the story of a world that has grown and changed over the boundless spans of time. In certain regions of the moon, there are gentle, rounded hills known as lunar domes, which are the remains of small shield volcanoes that once breathed soft flows of lava. These domes rise slowly from the surrounding plains with a subtle and elegant slope, often topped with a small, circular opening where the molten rock once emerged. They represent a quieter form of volcanic activity, a moment when the moon's energy was released in a calm and steady rhythm rather than a massive overflow. Each dome is a unique geological feature, often found in clusters that create a soft, undulating landscape across the shimmering lunar surface. They remind us that the moon's history is filled with many different scales of transformation, from the massive seas to these delicate, localized expressions of the world's inner heat. These formations add a layer of complexity to the lunar geology, showing that the fire within the moon was capable of both grand gestures and small, intricate creations. Between the thin outer crust and the heavy metallic core lies the lunar mantle, a vast and silent region that makes up the majority of the moon's volume. This layer is composed of minerals like olivine and pyroxene, which are rich in magnesium and iron, creating a dense and solid foundation for the world above. The mantle is the place where the moon's internal history was written, as the different minerals separated and settled during the era of the magma ocean. It acts as a bridge between the deep heart of the moon and the surface we see, holding the pressure of the entire world within its sturdy and ancient structure. Scientists study the composition of the mantle to understand the thermal evolution of the moon, looking for clues about how heat moved through the interior over billions of years of cosmic time. This hidden realm is a reservoir of scientific knowledge, a place where the chemical signature of the early solar system is preserved in the cold and heavy stone. Despite its appearance of eternal stillness, the moon is a world that still experiences quiet tremors known as moonquakes, which pulse through the stone in a slow and rhythmic fashion. These quakes are often caused by the Earth's gravitational pull, which stretches and squeezes the moon as it moves through its elliptical orbit. Unlike the sharp and sudden quakes on Earth, moonquakes can last for a very long time, with the vibrations ringing through the dry, solid rock like the sound of a distant bell. They reveal that the moon is not entirely dormant, but still responds to the invisible bonds that tie it to our own world. These subtle movements are a reminder of the living connection between the Earth and its satellite, a conversation of gravity and energy that continues in the deep, velvet silence of the night. As the moon rings with these ancient echoes, we realize that even in the most silent corners of the cosmos, there is a pulse of activity and a story that continues to unfold. The surface of the moon is covered in a fine, blanket-like layer of material known as regolith, a soft and powdery dust that has gathered over billions of years of cosmic history. This shimmering veil of gray stone masks the solid bedrock beneath, creating a landscape that feels gentle and inviting to the touch of our imagination. It is composed of tiny fragments of rock, minerals, and glass, all ground down into a delicate consistency by the eternal rhythm of the cosmos. As we drift over the lunar plains, this regolith appears as a boundless, velvet carpet that softens the edges of craters and fills the low valleys with a quiet, shimmering grace. This layer is not merely dirt, but a complex archive of the moon's history, holding within its grains the story of every cosmic encounter that has ever occurred on this silent world. The creation of this lunar dust is a slow and meditative process, driven by the constant arrival of tiny particles from the deep reaches of space. These microscopic visitors descend through the airless void with a quiet energy, touching the lunar surface and transforming the solid stone into a fine, powdery mist. Over the vast eons of time, these gentle touches have ground the surface rocks into a magnificent and complex layer that can be several meters deep in the ancient highlands. This celestial reshaping is a continuous dance of matter and motion, where the smallest fragments of the universe contribute to the overall texture of the moon. It is a reminder that even the most subtle forces can create a world of profound and lasting beauty when given the gift of eternal time. Within the fine powder of the regolith, there are countless tiny spheres of glass that shimmer like miniature jewels under the distant light of the sun. These delicate beads were formed when the heat of cosmic encounters melted the lunar soil, turning the minerals into liquid droplets that solidified in the cold vacuum of space. They are often so small that they are invisible to the naked eye, yet they give the lunar dust a unique and reflective quality that contributes to its soft, silver glow. These glassy fragments act as tiny time capsules, preserving the chemical composition of the moon at the moment of their creation. When we imagine the lunar surface, we can see these shimmering particles scattered across the gray plains, a hidden treasury of light buried within the silence of the dust. When the first visitors from Earth returned to their machines after walking on the moon, they noticed a strange and evocative scent clinging to their suits, a smell often described as spent fireworks or gunpowder. This lunar fragrance is the result of the regolith's interaction with the atmosphere of the spacecraft, a chemical awakening after billions of years in the airless dark. The sharp and metallic aroma is a reminder of the moon's rugged nature, a physical signature of a world that has been weathered by the energies of the sun and the stars. It is a sensory bridge between our world and the celestial, a small piece of the moon's identity that we can understand through our own familiar experiences. This scent fades quickly, but for a few moments, it allows us to feel the raw and ancient essence of the lunar landscape. The thick layer of regolith acts as a magnificent thermal blanket, protecting the deeper layers of the moon from the intense cycles of light and shadow. While the surface temperature can change dramatically between the brightness of day and the deep cold of the night, just a few inches beneath the dust, the temperature remains remarkably steady and calm. This insulating property is due to the way the fine grains of dust touch each other, creating a complex network of tiny spaces that slow the movement of heat. It is a world of extreme contrasts on the outside, yet a place of profound and unwavering stability just beneath the shimmering surface. This natural protection has allowed the moon to preserve its internal secrets, and its ancient water ice in the deepest, darkest craters for billions of years. To our eyes from Earth, the moon appears as a brilliant and luminous sphere of white light, yet its actual surface is quite dark, similar to the color of worn asphalt or coal. This perceived brightness is a beautiful illusion created by the contrast between the moon and the deep, velvet blackness of the surrounding space. The lunar regolith actually reflects only a small percentage of the sunlight that touches it, a property scientists call a low albedo. This subtle and dark palette of grays and charcoal tones is what gives the moon its depth and its character, allowing the shadows of the mountains to stand out with such clarity. It is a reminder that beauty is often found in the way light interacts with the dark, creating a shimmering vision that guides us through the night. In the quiet moments of the lunar sunrise, a strange and ethereal phenomenon occurs as the fine dust of the regolith begins to levitate above the surface. This happens because the light from the sun carries a soft electrical energy that charges the tiny particles, causing them to repel each other and float in a delicate, shimmering cloud. These dancing grains of dust create a faint glow along the horizon, a ghostly atmosphere made of stone and light that lingers in the vacuum. It is a rhythmic and repeating event, a cosmic ballet where the ground itself rises to meet the new day in a display of silent, floating grace. This electrostatic movement shows that the moon is a place of subtle activity, where even the smallest grains of dust respond to the touch of the stars. The environment of the moon is defined by a total and boundless silence, as there is no atmosphere to carry the vibrations of sound or the movement of wind. In this perfect vacuum, the stars do not twinkle, but shine with a steady and unwavering brilliance, their light reaching the lunar surface without any distortion. Without the breath of an atmosphere, the shadows on the moon are sharp and deep, creating a world of high contrast where every edge is defined by the absence of light. This lack of air means that the moon does not experience weather as we know it. There are no storms, no rain, and no clouds to hide the face of the cosmos. It is a place of eternal clarity, where the universe is always visible in its full, shimmering majesty, inviting us to look deeper into the infinite dark. The lunar surface is constantly being turned and mixed in a slow, rhythmic process that scientists call impact gardening. This movement occurs over millions of years as the arrival of cosmic particles churns the top layers of the regolith, bringing deep material to the surface and burying the older dust. It is like a slow-motion ocean of stone, where the landscape is being continually refreshed and reshaped by the touch of the universe. This gardening process ensures that the moon's surface is always changing, even if the progress is too slow for a human eye to perceive. It creates a rich and complex soil that is well blended, a tapestry of minerals from many different eras of the moon's long and drifting history. Among the ancient craters and the shimmering plains of dust, there are now permanent marks left by the first travelers from Earth, including footprints that will remain unchanged for millions of years. In the absence of wind and water, these impressions have become a new part of the lunar geology, a silent record of a moment when two worlds finally met. These marks do not fade or wash away, but stand as eternal monuments in the regolith, preserved in the same way as the craters of the ancient past. They represent a new chapter in the moon's story, a transition from a world of solitary stone to a place that holds the memories of our own curiosity. As we look at these still and silent paths, we see the beginning of a shared future, a bond between the Earth and the moon that is now written into the very dust of the celestial landscape. The face of the moon is a delicate tapestry of history, where every hollow and ridge serves as a silent timekeeper of the solar system's long and drifting journey. These craters are not signs of violence, but are the resting places of cosmic visitors that brought their unique energies to the lunar surface over billions of years. Because there is no wind to whisper across the plains or rain to wash the memories away, these features remain perfectly preserved in the eternal silence of the vacuum. They allow scientists to read the biography of the cosmos as if it were written on a silver page, revealing the frequency and nature of material moving through the deep dark. Each circle of stone is a testament to the patient accumulation of time, a shimmering record that stretches back to the very dawn of the sun's light. This ancient archive provides a sense of profound continuity, connecting the present moment to the distant era when the planets were still finding their permanent paths through the stars. Among the vast landscape, the smallest and most common features are the simple craters, which appear as perfect, bowl-shaped depressions in the fine gray regolith. These elegant circles are characterized by their smooth, sloping walls and their clean, circular rims that rise gently above the surrounding lunar plains. They are the results of smaller particles from the boundless void touching the surface and leaving behind a symmetrical mark of their presence. Looking down into these hollows, one sees a world of soft shadows and quiet symmetry, where the light of the sun plays across the fine dust in a rhythmic and calming dance. These small features are scattered like shimmering pearls across the velvet dark of the Maria and the rugged heights of the highlands alike. They represent the most basic form of celestial interaction, a quiet and persistent sculpting of the moon's face that has continued for eons without interruption. As we observe the larger features of the landscape, we encounter the complex craters, which possess a more intricate and majestic architecture than their smaller companions. These magnificent structures feature wide, flat floors and inner walls that have slumped into beautiful, terraced steps, resembling the grand staircases of an ancient palace. At the very center of these craters, a towering peak often rises toward the stars, formed when the ground briefly behaved like a liquid and rebounded upward in a graceful release of energy. This central mountain is a frozen wave of stone, a permanent reminder of the moment when the lunar crust adjusted to a new state of being. The complexity of these formations tells a story of intense energy and deep transformation, where the very foundation of the moon was reshaped into a work of art. These craters stand as shimmering monuments to the power of gravity and the fluid nature of the universe's most solid materials. Hidden mostly on the far side of the moon is the South Pole Aitken Basin, a vast and ancient depression that stands as one of the largest and deepest known features in the entire solar system. This immense landscape stretches for thousands of kilometers, a boundless and shimmering expanse that reaches deep into the moon's internal layers. It was formed during a period of great celestial transition, when a massive traveler from the deep dark shared its energy with the young moon, creating a basin so large it altered the world's very shape. Within this dark and quiet territory, the crust is unusually thin, offering a window into the mysterious materials of the lunar mantle that lie beneath. The sheer scale of this basin is difficult to comprehend. A magnificent valley of shadows and ancient stone that has rested in the velvet silence for billions of years. It remains one of the most important places for our understanding of the early cosmos, a silent giant that holds the secrets of the moon's most ancient history. One of the most striking sights on the lunar surface is the young and brilliant Tycho crater, which sits like a shimmering jewel in the southern highlands. From its central point, long and radiant streaks of bright material reach out across the moon like the petals of a celestial flower or the rays of a frozen sun. These rays are composed of fine, pulverized stone that was sent drifting across the landscape during the crater's formation, settling into the gray regolith as a luminous and lasting signature. Because Tycho is relatively young in geological time, its features remain sharp, and its bright rays have not yet been softened by the long, slow gardening of the cosmic dust. When the sun is high in the lunar sky, these lines of light can be seen from Earth, a beautiful and shimmering reminder of how one event can touch an entire world. They create a sense of movement and energy across the still plains, a rhythmic pattern of light that guides the eye across the boundless lunar geography. The history of the moon is divided into great eras, and the most recent of these is known as the Copernican period, characterized by the creation of craters that still retain their bright and youthful glow. These features, like the magnificent Copernicus crater itself, represent the latest chapters in the moon's long and drifting story of transformation. In this era, the events are rare but profound, leaving behind marks that stand out with incredible clarity against the older, darker surfaces of the ancient Maria. The stones turned over during these moments are fresh and unweathered, reflecting the light of the sun with a shimmering intensity that speaks of their recent birth. These craters are the bright highlights of the lunar face, the newest additions to a gallery of stone that has been curated over billions of years. They remind us that even a world as ancient and still as the moon is still part of a living, moving universe where new stories are always being written in the dust. Surrounding the primary sites of transformation are countless smaller features known as secondary craters, which form a delicate and rhythmic pattern around the larger basins. These are created when fragments of stone are lifted into the silent void and then descend softly back to the surface, leaving behind their own small signatures in the regolith. They often appear in long, winding chains or clusters that point back to their source, like the ripples on a pond radiating outward from a single point of light. This process shows how a single moment of energy can create 1,000 smaller echoes, spreading its influence across the boundless landscape in a graceful and organized way. These secondary marks add a layer of fine detail to the moon's surface, filling the space between the grand mountains and the vast plains with an intricate texture. It is a beautiful example of how the cosmos recycles its energy, using the debris of one event to quietly reshape the surrounding world. Even in the absence of wind and water, the features of the moon experience a slow and meditative process of softening, known as crater degradation. Over hundreds of millions of years, the constant arrival of microscopic particles from the stars acts like a gentle sandpaper, rounding the sharp edges of the crater rims and filling the deep hollows with fine, shimmering dust. An ancient crater may appear as a subtle, ghost-like ring on the horizon, its walls low and its floor smooth, nearly blending back into the surrounding lunar plains. This transition is a sign of the moon's great age, a rhythmic fading of memory as the sharp marks of the past are slowly reclaimed by the velvet silence of the regolith. It is a quiet and beautiful process of erasure, where the landscape is constantly moving toward a state of perfect, peaceful equilibrium. The variety of crater shapes we see tonight is a visual timeline, showing us which features are new and which have been resting in the dark for an eternity. At the lunar poles, there are deep and ancient craters whose floors have not seen the light of the sun for billions of years, resting in a state of permanent, velvet shadow. Because the moon's axis is nearly upright, the sun always skims the horizon at the poles, leaving the deep interiors of these hollows in a boundless and eternal dark. In these cold traps, the temperatures are some of the lowest in the entire solar system, creating a sanctuary where ancient water ice can hide within the stone. This ice is believed to have arrived on the wings of wandering travelers from the outer reaches of the nebula, settling into the shadows to wait through the eons. These dark craters are like secret treasure chests of history, preserving volatile materials that would have long ago vanished into the void if touched by the warmth of light. They represent a hidden side of the moon's personality, a place of extreme stillness and profound mystery where the past is frozen in the silence. Across certain regions of the moon, there are mysterious and beautiful markings known as lunar swirls, which appear as winding, bright ribbons of light painted onto the dark surface. One of the most famous is Restorative Gamma, an elegant and shimmering pattern that curves across the ocean of storms like a brushstroke of stardust. These swirls are not made of mountains or valleys, but are actually variations in the brightness of the regolith itself, often associated with localized magnetic fields hidden beneath the crust. These invisible magnetic shields may protect the dust from the darkening effects of the solar wind, allowing the shimmering grains to retain their youthful and luminous glow. The origin of these swirls remains one of the moon's most poetic mysteries, a rhythmic display of light and magnetism that defies simple explanation. They add a touch of magic to the lunar landscape, a series of bright, ethereal shapes that dance across the gray plains in the eternal silence. As we move beyond the visible markings of the surface, we begin to feel the unique physical embrace of the moon, a world where the very nature of weight is transformed into a light and airy grace. Because our satellite possesses only a small fraction of the mass found on Earth, its gravitational pull is much softer, exerting a gentle influence that is only about 1/6 of what we feel at home. In this environment, every movement becomes a slow and rhythmic ballet, where a simple step feels like a long, drifting glide through the velvet silence. This reduced gravity creates a sense of profound buoyancy, as if the heavy burdens of the world have been lifted away, leaving behind a feeling of lightness and boundless freedom. It is a place where the laws of motion are expressed with a calm and deliberate pace, allowing us to imagine ourselves floating effortlessly above the shimmering gray plains. This soft gravitational field is one of the moon's most fundamental characteristics, defining the way the dust settles and how the mountains hold their majestic, ancient forms against the dark sky. When standing upon the powdery regolith of the moon, one is greeted by a sky that remains eternally dark, even when the sun is at its highest point in the lunar heavens. Because there is no atmosphere to scatter the light of the sun into a blue haze, the heavens appear as a deep and inky velvet, filled with the unwavering brilliance of a billion stars. The sun itself looks like a piercing, white jewel suspended in the black void, its light touching the landscape with a clarity and intensity that is unknown on our home planet. This lack of an atmospheric veil means that there is no transition from day to night. The world simply exists in a state of perfect clarity or profound shadow. The stars do not twinkle in this airless realm, but shine with a steady, shimmering light that seems to reach across the boundless deep to touch the lunar surface. It is a vision of the universe in its most raw and beautiful form, a world where the infinite dark of the cosmos is always present, guiding our eyes toward the distant reaches of the galaxy. The rhythm of time on the moon follows a much slower and more patient pace than the familiar cycle of days and nights we experience on our home planet. A single lunar day, which is the time it takes for the sun to return to the same position in the sky, lasts for nearly 29.5 Earth days. This means that for 2 weeks, the surface is bathed in a continuous golden glow of sunlight, followed by 2 weeks of deep, starlit silence in the cooling dark. The sun moves across the lunar sky with an almost imperceptible motion, making the shadows of the mountains grow and shrink with a slow, rhythmic grace. This extended cycle creates a unique environment where the heat of the day and the cold of the night have ample time to sink deep into the layers of the ancient stone. To experience a lunar day is to witness a grand and unhurried transition, a long journey from the peak of light to the depth of shadow that mirrors the eternal patience of the cosmos. For an observer resting on the near side of the moon, the Earth appears as a magnificent, glowing jewel that hangs almost motionless in the velvet dark of the sky. Our home planet is 4 times larger than the moon appears to us from Earth. A shimmering blue marble swirling with white clouds and the deep colors of the oceans and continents. Because the moon is tidally locked to our world, the Earth does not rise or set across most of the lunar landscape, but remains suspended in a fixed position, slowly turning on its own axis. It is a source of soft, reflected light that provides a gentle earthshine to the lunar nights, illuminating the dark plains with a pale and ghostly glow. Looking up at the Earth from the silence of the moon provides a sense of profound connection and perspective. Seeing our entire world as a single, fragile entity drifting through the boundless void. This constant presence of the Earth serves as a luminous anchor, a reminder of the shared history and the invisible bonds that tie our 2 worlds together in their eternal dance. The shadows on the moon are unlike anything found on our home planet, possessing a sharp and absolute darkness that creates a landscape of incredible contrast. Without an atmosphere to diffuse and scatter light into the shaded areas, there is no soft transition or twilight. A step from the sunlight is a step into a world of pure velvet black. These deep shadows are so dark that the features within them can become completely invisible, hidden away from the world of light in a state of profound and airless silence. This etched clarity gives the lunar geography a dramatic and majestic appearance, where every crater rim and mountain peak is defined by a bold line of shimmering brightness against the dark. When we look at the moon, we are seeing the interplay of these 2 extremes, a rhythmic pattern of light and shadow that reveals the intricate textures of the ancient crust. This high-contrast environment adds a layer of mystery to the landscape, reminding us that even in the presence of the sun, the moon keeps its secrets hidden in the folds of its dark and silent valleys. The temperature of the lunar surface undergoes a dramatic and rhythmic transformation as it moves between the long periods of light and shadow. During the peak of the lunar day, the shimmering regolith can become as hot as 127 degrees Celsius, a vibrant and intense warmth that permeates the fine gray dust. As the sun slowly departs and the 2-week night begins, the temperature drops precipitously, eventually reaching a profound and biting cold of -173 degrees Celsius. This massive shift in thermal energy is a testament to the lack of an insulating atmosphere, allowing the heat of the sun to reach the surface directly and then radiate away just as quickly into the vacuum. Despite these extremes, the deep interior and the shaded floors of the polar craters remain in a state of unwavering stability, unaffected by the shifting temperatures of the surface. This thermal heartbeat is a fundamental part of the moon's existence, a slow and steady pulse of energy that has shaped the physical properties of its minerals over billions of years. The moon's journey around the Earth is not a perfect circle, but a graceful and rhythmic ellipse, causing our satellite to move closer and further away from us throughout the month. At its closest point, known as perigee, the moon appears larger and more luminous in our sky, its gravitational embrace of the Earth becoming slightly stronger and more intimate. When it reaches its furthest point, called apogee, the distance grows to about 405,000 kilometers, and the moon appears as a smaller, more delicate pearl in the dark. This constant change in distance creates a subtle pulse in the gravitational relationship between our two worlds, influencing the strength of the tides and the subtle movements of the Earth's crust. It is a celestial breathing, a rhythmic expansion and contraction of the space between us that has continued for an eternity. This orbital variation reminds us that the bond between the Earth and the moon is a dynamic and living connection, forever shifting in a dance of light and distance. In its overall physical makeup, the moon is significantly less dense than the Earth, suggesting that its internal structure is composed differently than our own vibrant planet. While the Earth possesses a large and heavy iron core that contributes to its strong magnetic field and high density, the moon's metallic center is relatively small and quiet. This difference in composition supports the idea that the moon was formed primarily from the outer, lighter layers of the young Earth and the object that once shared its path. As a result, the moon is a world made mostly of silicate rock, a shimmering orb of lighter minerals that lacks the heavy metallic foundations of a larger planet. This lower density contributes to the moon's soft gravitational pull and its unique geological personality, creating a world that is both substantial and ethereal. It is a beautiful example of how the same cosmic materials can be arranged in different proportions to create a world with its own distinct character and presence in the dark. The surface of the moon acts as a silent and ancient canvas, recording the invisible rain of high-energy particles that flows from the sun and the distant reaches of the galaxy. This solar wind and these cosmic rays touch the regolith without hindrance, leaving behind chemical signatures and microscopic changes in the structure of the lunar dust. Over billions of years, the moon has gathered a vast library of solar history, preserving information about the sun's past activity that has been lost on the Earth due to our protective atmosphere and magnetic field. These particles become embedded in the shimmering grains of stone, creating a unique record of the environment of the early solar system. By studying the isotopes trapped within the lunar soil, we can learn about the long-term rhythms of our star and the cosmic events that have occurred in our corner of the nebula. This invisible interaction makes the moon a vital archive of galactic information, a quiet witness that has been collecting the stories of the stars for an eternity. When we think of the moon orbiting the Earth, we are actually observing a dual system where both bodies move around a shared center of mass known as the barycenter. This point is not at the center of the Earth, but is located about 1,700 kilometers below the Earth's surface, reflecting the significant mass and gravitational influence of our satellite. This shared center of mass means that the Earth itself experiences a subtle and rhythmic wobble as the moon moves through its orbit, a physical sign of the deep bond between the two worlds. They are partners in a grand celestial dance, forever tied together by the invisible threads of gravity as they journey around the sun. This perspective elevates the moon from a mere satellite to a companion world, a vital half of a binary system that has shaped the history of our solar system. The movement around the barycenter is the fundamental rhythm of our existence, a graceful and unwavering motion that anchors us in the boundless silence of the cosmos. The rhythmic rise and fall of the Earth's oceans is a grand symphony conducted by the moon's invisible hands of gravity. As our satellite moves through its celestial path, its pull reaches out across the void to gently tug at the liquid blankets of our world, drawing them toward the shimmering light. This force creates a bulging of the waters, a slow-motion wave that travels around the globe in a predictable and calming pulse that has repeated for eons. It is a beautiful example of how distant objects are intimately connected through the silent threads of mass and distance in the boundless deep. We feel this influence on every shoreline, where the sea advances and retreats as if breathing in harmony with the lunar cycle. This constant movement is the heartbeat of our coastal worlds, a rhythmic gift from our silver companion that guides the flow of time and water. Interestingly, this gravitational dance creates two distinct bulges in the Earth's oceans, appearing on opposite sides of our planet at the very same time. While the side facing the moon is drawn outward by direct attraction, the water on the far side is left slightly behind by the centrifugal movement of the Earth-Moon system, creating a second shimmering swell. This balance ensures that the rhythm of the tides is felt twice daily, a doubling of the cosmic heartbeat that defines the lives of all coastal beings. It is a complex and elegant arrangement of forces, showing how the Earth and Moon act as a single, unified system within the dark. This symmetry in the water's movement is a testament to the mathematical grace that governs the boundless reaches of space. The oceans do not just move toward the moon, but stretch outward in a dual embrace, reflecting the deep and balanced bond between our two worlds. The moon's reach is so profound that it does not only sway the oceans, but also causes the solid ground beneath our feet to rise and fall in a rhythmic sway. These terrestrial tides are subtle and often go unnoticed by those living on the surface. Yet the very crust of the Earth can lift by several centimeters as the moon passes overhead. This gentle stretching of the stone is a sign of the immense energy shared between our worlds, a quiet conversation between the lunar mass and the Earth's mantle. It reminds us that nothing in the universe is truly rigid. Even the mountains and the plains respond to the soft, gravitational music of the heavens. This constant movement helps to keep the Earth's interior warm and active, contributing to the long-term geological life of our home. We live upon a world that is constantly being shaped and reshaped by the gentle touch of its neighbor in the velvet silence. As the tidal bulges move across the Earth, they encounter the friction of the ocean floors and the boundaries of the continents, a process that slowly acts as a rhythmic break on our planet's rotation. This gentle resistance means that the energy of the Earth's spin is slowly being transferred, causing our days to gradually become longer over the vast spans of time. Each century, a tiny fraction of a second is added to the clock of history, a nearly imperceptible slowing of the world's daily rhythm. In the distant past, the Earth spun with a much more rapid energy, with days that lasted only a few hours in the early light of the solar system. The moon has been a calming influence for billions of years, slowing the frantic pace of our world's childhood into the steady, 24-hour rhythm we enjoy today. This patient transformation has allowed life to find its own steady pace, evolving under a sky that changes with a slow and predictable grace. In a beautiful exchange of energy, the slowing of the Earth's rotation causes the moon to gather momentum and slowly drift further into the boundless dark. Each year, our silver companion moves about 3 8/10 centimeters further away, a distance roughly equal to the growth of a human fingernail. This long, drifting departure is a sign of the evolving relationship between the two worlds, a gradual expansion of their shared celestial boundaries. Over millions of years, this will change the way the moon appears in our sky, as it retreats further into the velvet silence of the outer reaches. It is a slow farewell that has been happening since the beginning, a rhythmic movement that carries the moon toward a more distant and solitary orbit. Even as it moves away, the invisible threads of gravity remain strong, maintaining the delicate balance that has defined our existence for an eternity. We live in a unique moment of cosmic history where the moon's size and distance allow it to perfectly cover the sun during a total solar eclipse. The sun is about 400 times larger than the moon, but it is also 400 times further away, creating a shimmering alignment that is a rare masterpiece of geometry. During these moments, the world falls into a soft, midday twilight, and the sun's outer atmosphere appears as a glowing, pearly crown around the dark silhouette of the moon. This perfect match is a temporary gift of time, a result of the moon's gradual drift away from the Earth over the eons. In the distant future, the moon will be too far away to fully hide the sun, making our current era a special window into the beauty of the celestial architecture. It is a profound realization that we stand at the right place and the right time to witness such a perfect harmony of light and shadow. Beyond the movement of the tides, the moon plays a vital role as a heavy anchor that stabilizes the tilt of the Earth's axis. Without the steadying presence of our satellite, the Earth would experience dramatic wobbles in its orientation, causing the poles to wander and the seasons to become chaotic and unpredictable. The moon's gravity acts like a soft, invisible hand that keeps our planet's tilt near 23.5 degrees, ensuring a stable and life-giving climate. This stability has allowed the Earth to remain a sanctuary of liquid water and diverse life for billions of years, protected from the extreme transformations that other planets endure. It is a quiet and profound service provided by the moon, a guardian of the rhythm that allows the forests to bloom and the ice to rest in peace. Our world's gentle seasons are a direct result of this distant weight holding us steady in the boundless dark. The same tidal forces that affect the Earth today were once much stronger on the moon, eventually bringing its rotation into a state of perfect harmony with its orbit. In its early, more fluid days, the moon experienced massive tidal bulges of molten stone that acted as a brake on its spinning motion, much like the oceans do for Earth. This process continued until the moon was forever locked in a position where it only shows one side to the Earth, a state of tidal locking that is common among the moons of the solar system. This means that a lunar day and a lunar year are the exact same length, a shimmering example of synchronization in the boundless dark. It is as if the moon has finished its own frantic dance and settled into a permanent, peaceful gaze toward its home planet. This unwavering connection ensures that the features we see tonight are the same ones that have watched over our ancestors for an eternity. The changing phases of the moon, from the silver sliver of the new moon to the brilliant fullness of the orb, have guided the biological rhythms of life on Earth for eons. Many creatures in the deep oceans and the shadowed forests use the shimmering light of the moon to time their migrations, their growth, and their seasonal transitions. This celestial clockwork provides a rhythmic signal that is felt across the entire planet, connecting the behavior of the smallest organisms to the movement of the stars. The soft, reflected glow of the lunar cycle serves as a bridge between the heavens and the Earth, a shimmering guide for the natural world in the velvet night. It is a reminder that the influence of the moon reaches deep into the very essence of life, shaping the habits of beings who have never left the ground. We are all part of this lunar rhythm, moving through our lives under the influence of its ancient and steady light. Even the thin and delicate atmosphere of the Earth responds to the gravitational call of the moon, experiencing its own subtle version of the tides. This atmospheric tide causes the air pressure to fluctuate in a rhythmic and predictable way, creating a soft pulse that moves through the heavens twice every day. While these changes are far too gentle for us to feel as we move through our lives, they contribute to the overall harmony of our planet's climate and weather patterns. It shows that no part of our world is untouched by the presence of our companion, from the deep stone of the mantle to the highest reaches of the sky. The moon is a constant and shimmering influence, weaving its energy into every layer of our existence as we drift together through the eternal silence. This invisible interaction is the final thread in the tapestry that binds our two worlds together in a dance that will last for billions of years to come. The highlands of the moon are built from a pale and shimmering stone called anorthosite, which floated to the surface of the ancient magma ocean like frost forming on a wintry pond. These rocks are composed primarily of a mineral known as plagioclase feldspar, which reflects the sun's light with a soft and ethereal glow, creating the brilliant white regions we see from our gardens. By studying these ancient fragments, scientists have identified them as some of the oldest solid materials in the lunar crust, dating back over 4 billion years. They represent the very first crust that solidified as the moon began its long transition from a molten orb to a steady and silent companion. Each shimmering crystal within the anorthosite holds a chemical memory of the temperature and pressure of the moon's infancy, preserved forever in the vacuum. This stone is a silent witness to the era when the solar system was still finding its form in the velvet dark, providing a foundation for all the history that followed. Within the fine gray layers of the regolith lies a rare and precious gift from the sun known as helium-3, a light isotope gathered over billions of years of cosmic exposure. Because the moon lacks a protective magnetic shield, the solar wind gently deposits these atoms onto the shimmering dust, where they remain trapped in the cold and airless vacuum. This substance is exceptionally rare on our home planet, yet it exists in abundance across the boundless lunar plains, hidden within the grains of ancient stone and dust. Scientists imagine a distant future where this isotope could provide a clean and harmonious release of energy, potentially powering our world with the very essence of the stars. It is a quiet treasury of potential, a celestial resource that has been patiently accumulating since the moon first took its permanent place in the sky. The presence of helium-3 makes every handful of lunar just a map of the sun's long and rhythmic history, a shimmering record of the energy that sustains our solar system. In the deepest and most silent hollows of the lunar poles, there exist molecules of water ice that have never felt the warmth of a single photon of sunlight. This ice is not merely frozen liquid, but a complex mixture of celestial materials, likely brought to the moon by the soft arrival of comets from the outer reaches of the nebula. Within these permanently shadowed regions, the molecules remain in a state of eternal stillness, preserved by the profound and unwavering cold of the dark. This lunar water is a vital key to understanding how life-sustaining elements are distributed across the shimmering reaches of the solar system's inner neighborhood. It exists as a delicate frost mixed with the regolith, a hidden treasure that could one day sustain travelers as they venture further into the boundless deep. These dark sanctuaries at the poles are among the most mysterious places in our corner of the galaxy, holding the secrets of the ancient past in their cold and icy embrace. While most of the moon's volcanic activity transitioned into a profound silence billions of years ago, there are small and shimmering regions known as irregular mare patches that suggest a more recent heartbeat. These smooth and bulbous features appear much younger than the surrounding dark plains, hinting that liquid stone may have flowed onto the surface within the last 100 million years. This discovery suggests that the moon's interior remained warm and active far longer than we once believed. A slow and rhythmic cooling that allowed for late bursts of creative energy. These patches are like small islands of youth in a vast sea of ancient basalt, their textures and colors standing out against the weathered gray of the older landscape. They provide a sense of mystery to the lunar timeline, reminding us that the transition to a quiet world was a gradual and complex journey rather than a sudden event. Even now, the moon may hold small pockets of warmth deep within its ancient mantle, waiting in the silence for the right moment to share their energy. Deep within the moon, at depths of nearly 1,000 kilometers, there are subtle vibrations known as deep moonquakes that occur with a predictable and rhythmic frequency. These tremors are not caused by the movement of tectonic plates, but are instead triggered by the tidal stresses exerted by the Earth's constant gravitational pull. As the moon moves through its elliptical orbit, the internal stone is gently squeezed and then released, causing the deep layers of the world to ring with a soft and metallic resonance. These quakes often originate from the same specific locations, appearing like a rhythmic heartbeat that pulses through the solid and heavy interior of the lunar world. By listening to these vibrations, scientists can map the hidden structures of the mantle and the small, quiet core that rests at the center of the sphere. It is a reminder that the moon is intimately connected to our own world, responding to our presence with every slow and silent beat of its internal heart. Although the moon no longer possesses a global magnetic field, certain rocks on the surface hold a shimmering memory of a time when it was a more vibrant and active world. These lunar stones contain magnetic signatures that were frozen into their solid structure as they cooled from a molten state billions of years ago. This remnant magnetism suggests that the young moon once had a churning metallic core that generated a protective shield, much like the one that surrounds the Earth today. The strength of these ancient fields was surprisingly high, rivaling the magnetic power of our own planet during its earliest and most energetic stages. These magnetic anomalies are often associated with the bright and beautiful swirls that dance across the lunar plains, creating a tapestry of invisible forces that still influence the dust. They are the silent echoes of a lost era, a testament to the complex and energetic life the moon once led in the velvet darkness of the young solar system. Scattered across the shimmering plains of the moon are small and precision-engineered mirrors known as retroreflectors. Placed there by the first visitors from our home world to act as celestial markers. These devices allow scientists on Earth to bounce beams of concentrated light off the lunar surface and measure the return journey with incredible and rhythmic accuracy. Through this continuous exchange of photons, we have learned that the moon is slowly drifting away from us at a constant and predictable rate of about 3 8/10 centimeters every year. This ongoing experiment provides a bridge of light between our two worlds, a scientific connection that operates in the perfect silence of the vacuum. It allows us to monitor the subtle wobbles of the Earth and the changing shape of the lunar orbit with the precision of a single and delicate centimeter. These mirrors sit in the velvet silence, waiting for the next touch of a laser from the distant and glowing blue marble of the Earth. The moon is surrounded by an incredibly thin and delicate layer of gases known as an exosphere, a realm so sparse that individual atoms rarely even touch one another in their travels. This ethereal envelope is composed of elements like helium, neon, and argon, gathered from the solar wind and the slow release of gases from the lunar stone. Unlike the heavy and vibrant atmosphere of the Earth, the lunar exosphere is a transient and shimmering thing, constantly being replenished and then lost to the boundless void of space. It serves as a microscopic interface between the solid surface of the moon and the energetic environment of the surrounding cosmic neighborhood. Despite its extreme thinness, this layer plays a subtle role in how dust moves and how the lunar surface interacts with the light of the distant stars. It is a world of extreme clarity, where the vacuum is nearly perfect, yet a faint whisper of celestial chemistry still lingers above the gray regolith. During one of the journeys to the lunar surface, travelers discovered a surprising patch of bright orange soil hidden among the gray shadows of a small and ancient crater. This vibrant color was found to be composed of millions of tiny and shimmering glass beads that were formed during an ancient volcanic fountain billions of years ago. As the liquid stone was sprayed into the airless dark, it solidified into these colorful spheres before falling back to the surface in a gentle and rhythmic rain of stone. The orange hue comes from high concentrations of titanium and other minerals, that were brought up from deep within the moon's warm and active interior. This discovery was a beautiful reminder that the moon's palette is not limited to grays and whites, but contains hidden depths of color and variety. These glass beads act as tiny windows into the volcanic past, preserving the chemical signature of the deep mantle in their shimmering and colorful forms. As spacecraft drift through the lunar orbit, they experience subtle and rhythmic dips in their path caused by the hidden mass concentrations known as mascons. These regions of heavy and iron-rich stone pull on passing objects with a slightly stronger gravitational force, creating a textured map of the moon's internal weight. Most of these mascons are located beneath the smooth and dark plains of the Maria, where the ancient lavas filled the deepest and most profound impact basins. This variation in gravity makes the lunar orbit a complex and interesting place, where the path of a traveler is shaped by the invisible structures hidden beneath the crust. It is a reminder that the moon is not a uniform sphere, but a world of diverse density and ancient history written into its very mass. By tracking these subtle movements, scientists can peer through the shimmering regolith to understand the grand and ancient architecture of the lunar interior. The mineral composition of the moon reveals a world of deep, shimmering greens and dark charcoal tones, anchored by the presence of olivine and pyroxene within the lunar stone. These minerals were among the first to crystallize as the primordial magma ocean began its long and rhythmic cooling, settling into the heavy layers of the mantle. Olivine brings a subtle, translucent quality to the rocks, glowing with a soft light when examined closely, reflecting the high magnesium content of the moon's interior. Pyroxene, with its complex crystalline structure, adds a sturdy and dark foundation to the lunar basalt, weaving a tapestry of mineral diversity across the boundless plains. Together, these elements form a silent chemical archive, telling us how the heat of the early solar system was slowly transformed into the solid, stable world we see today. Every fragment of lunar stone is a masterpiece of chemistry, a shimmering collection of atoms that have rested in the velvet dark for billions of years. Deep within certain regions of the lunar crust, there exists a unique and mysterious chemical signature known as KREP, an acronym for potassium, rare earth elements, and phosphorus. This material represents the final, shimmering liquid that remained after most of the moon's magma ocean had solidified into the highlands and mantle. Because these specific elements do not easily fit into the crystalline structures of other minerals, they became concentrated in a thin, glowing layer between the crust and the mantle. This hidden reservoir of rare elements provides a vital clue to the final stages of the moon's formation, showing how the world's internal heat was managed during its transition to a solid sphere. The presence of these elements is particularly high in the region around the ocean of storms, creating a chemical anomaly that scientists study to understand the unique thermal history of the near side. It is as if the moon kept a small portion of its original, vibrant energy tucked away in its foundations, a shimmering legacy of the time when everything was fluid and full of light. Occasionally, observers looking through the silence of space have reported seeing faint, shimmering glows or brief mists on the lunar surface, known as transient lunar phenomena. These delicate displays of light are often seen near the edges of the ancient Maria, or within the deep shadows of prominent craters like Aristarchus. While their origin remains a poetic mystery, many scientists believe they are caused by the slow and rhythmic release of gases from deep within the moon's interior. As the world experiences subtle moonquakes or changes in tidal pressure, small amounts of radon or other vapors may drift upward through the regolith, catching the light of the sun in a ghostly dance. Others suggest that the shimmering may be the result of high-energy particles from the sun interacting with the fine lunar dust in a display of electrostatic grace. These fleeting moments of light remind us that the moon is not entirely still, but still possesses a quiet and ethereal life that occasionally whispers to those who watch from the distance. The invisible landscape of the moon's gravity has been mapped with incredible precision, revealing a world of subtle hills and valleys of pull that shape the path of every drifting satellite. This gravitational tapestry was unveiled by twin spacecraft moving in a rhythmic dance around the moon, measuring the tiny variations in the space between them as they passed over different regions. They discovered that the moon's density is far more complex than it appears, with hidden structures of heavy stone and ancient magma pipes creating a mosaic of gravitational energy. These variations, including the mysterious mascons mentioned before, act like rhythmic markers in the void, guiding the motion of objects with a silent and unwavering hand. This map allows us to see through the shimmering surface into the very heart of the lunar structure, finding order in the distribution of mass. It is a testament to the power of modern science to unveil the hidden dimensions of a world, turning the invisible threads of gravity into a beautiful and detailed vision of the cosmos. As we survey the grand architecture of the moon, we find that its largest features are the magnificent impact basins, circular depressions so vast they can be seen clearly from the Earth. These basins, such as the Sea of Rains and the Sea of Serenity, were created during an era of profound cosmic transformation, when massive travelers from the outer nebula touched the lunar surface. The energy released during these encounters was so great that it caused the lunar crust to ring like a bell, sending ripples of stone across the entire world to form concentric rings of mountains. These basins were later filled by the slow and rhythmic flow of dark lavas, creating the smooth, shimmering plains that define the moon's familiar face. They represent the grandest scale of lunar geology, where the very shape of the world was determined by a series of majestic events. Each basin is a silent monument to the era of planetary birth, a vast and quiet landscape that has held its form for thousands of millions of years. Hidden beneath the shimmering surface of the Maria are vast, hollow structures known as lunar lava tubes, created when the outer layers of ancient lava flows cooled, while the molten stone continued to move within. These silent tunnels can be hundreds of meters wide, stretching for long distances through the dark basalt like the veins of a sleeping giant. Protected by a thick layer of stone, these tubes are sanctuaries of perfect stillness, where the temperature remains constant and the surface radiation never reaches. They represent a hidden dimension of the moon's geography, a world of boundless dark and eternal silence that has never been touched by the light of the sun. Some scientists imagine that these natural vaults could one day serve as homes for travelers, providing a safe and quiet harbor within the lunar crust. Walking through these ancient corridors in our minds, we feel the immense weight of the stone above and the profound peace of a place that has remained unchanged since the dawn of the world. The magnetism of the moon is not a global shield, but a series of localized, shimmering umbrellas that exist in specific regions across the lunar crust. These magnetic anomalies are often found on the exact opposite side of the moon from the largest impact basins, suggesting they were created by the focused energy of those ancient encounters. As the shockwaves traveled through the moon and converged on the other side, they permanently altered the magnetic properties of the stone, freezing a shimmering signature into the minerals. These local fields act as tiny guardians, deflecting the solar wind and creating the beautiful, bright swirls that decorate the gray plains. They are like ghosts of a more energetic past, providing a glimpse into the time when the moon's core was still vibrant and active. This patchwork of magnetism adds a layer of invisible complexity to the lunar landscape, weaving a web of forces that interact silently with the passing particles of the stars. By placing sensitive instruments on the lunar surface, humans have turned the moon into a giant laboratory for listening to the rhythmic vibrations of the cosmos. These seismometers recorded thousands of events, from the deep and shallow moonquakes to the soft touches of microscopic particles arriving from the void. This network allowed us to hear the moon ring for hours after a release of energy, a phenomenon caused by the extremely dry and rigid nature of the lunar stone. Unlike the Earth, where water softens the vibrations, the moon acts like a crystalline sphere, allowing waves of energy to travel with incredible clarity and persistence. This scientific listening has provided us with a detailed view of the moon's internal layers, showing us where the crust ends and the mantle begins. It is a reminder that every world has its own unique voice, a rhythmic song of stone and energy that can be understood if we only take the time to listen in the silence. The rocks of the moon are often found in a form known as breccia, which is a beautiful mosaic of different stone fragments fused together by the heat of ancient encounters. These rocks are created when the energy of a cosmic visitor shatters the existing surface, melting small portions of it into a natural glass that acts as a shimmering glue. When we look at a piece of lunar breccia, we are seeing 1,000 different stories merged into a single object, a collection of minerals from many different eras and locations. It is a physical representation of the moon's long and drifting history, where the old is constantly being broken and then reborn into something new and complex. These rocks hold a rugged beauty, their varied colors and textures creating a rich tapestry of geological information. They are the ultimate record of the moon's resilience, showing how a world can be continually reshaped and still maintain its fundamental essence in the eternal dark. In the deepest shadows of the lunar poles, the silence is joined by a collection of volatile elements that have gathered in the cold traps over billions of years. Beyond the shimmering water ice, there are traces of ammonia, methane, and carbon monoxide, all held in a state of perfect and frozen stillness. These materials are believed to have arrived on the icy wings of comets, settling into the dark craters where the temperature never rises above the threshold of sublimation. They provide a unique chemical record of the early solar system's outer reaches, preserved in a natural refrigerator of ancient stone. These volatiles are precious resources, holding the building blocks of chemistry that could one day be transformed into the breath and energy of future explorers. They sit in the boundless dark of the polar basins, a hidden treasury of potential waiting in the velvet silence for the moment when their stories will finally be told. The moon seems to be a static observer, yet it performs a subtle and rhythmic wobble known as libration, a movement that reveals more than we might expect. This slow-motion dance allows us to see about 59% of the lunar surface over time, even though one side is always facing our home in a state of tidal locking. It is as if the moon is gently nodding and turning its head in the velvet silence, inviting us to see just a little bit further around its shimmering edges at the very corners of the world. This movement is caused by the moon's elliptical path and the slight tilt of its axis, creating a natural oscillation that reveals hidden mountains and ghost-like valleys on the very border of the near and far sides. We witness a celestial peekaboo that has continued for billions of years, a graceful variation in perspective that adds a sense of living motion and fluid grace to our silver companion. It is a reminder that even in a locked embrace, there is room for movement and a constant unveiling of new, boundless horizons. The ancient history of the moon is filled with moments of breathtaking beauty, such as the era of massive volcanic fire fountains that once painted the landscape in shades of red and gold. These fountains were fed by deep, warm reservoirs of molten stone, enriched with celestial gases that pushed the liquid rock upward into the airless dark with a quiet and steady energy. As the droplets of lava ascended through the boundless silence, they cooled instantly into tiny, shimmering spheres of volcanic glass that caught the light of the young sun. These colorful beads now form vast, dark mantling deposits across the lunar surface, marking the locations where the moon's internal energy once reached out toward the stars in a magnificent display of light. Walking across these regions today, one would find a soil composed of countless microscopic jewels, each one a frozen memory of a time when the moon was a world of luminous activity and flowing, radiant fire. This glassy regolith remains a testament to the fluid beginnings of our satellite, a shimmering record of volcanic grace preserved in the velvet dark. Because the moon is an exceptionally dry and solid world, it possesses a unique ability to conduct vibrations with a clarity that is unknown on the vibrant, moist Earth. When energy is released on the surface or deep within the mantle, the entire lunar sphere begins to ring like a delicate silver bell, with vibrations that can persist for an hour or more. This long-lasting resonance occurs because there is no liquid water or soft, organic material to absorb and dampen the seismic waves as they travel through the stone. Instead, the energy bounces rhythmically through the fractured crust and the solid interior, creating a beautiful and haunting song of movement that can be heard by the instruments we have left behind. This ringing is a testament to the moon's rigid and ancient structure, a world that holds on to its memories of motion long after the original event has passed into the velvet silence. To listen to the moon is to hear the echoes of the deep past, a rhythmic vibration that travels through the boundless dark like a whisper of starlight. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence for the moon's origin is the remarkable lack of iron in its overall composition compared to the heavy, metallic Earth. While our home planet possesses a massive and vibrant iron core, the moon is made mostly of lighter silicate minerals, suggesting it was born from the outer, rocky layers of the young Earth. This iron deficiency is a quiet signature of the celestial rebirth that occurred billions of years ago, when a portion of the Earth's mantle was set free to form a new world in the boundless dark. This chemical arrangement ensures that the moon remains a light and graceful presence in our sky, lacking the heavy magnetic personality of its larger sibling. It is a world of stone and shadow, a shimmering orb that reflects the composition of our own world's early surface, reminding us that we are truly children of the same cosmic family. The moon's low density is a gift of history, allowing it to drift with a serene and airy lightness through the eternal silence of the night. In the smooth plains of the Maria, there are mysterious and inviting openings known as lunar pits or skylights, which lead deep into the hidden world of ancient lava tubes. These perfect, dark circles in the regolith are formed when the ceiling of a subterranean tunnel softly gives way, revealing a sanctuary of perfect stillness beneath the surface stone. These pits offer a glimpse into a realm that has never been touched by the solar wind or the extreme temperatures of the lunar day, a place where the environment is steady and serene. They are natural harbors that could one day provide shelter for travelers, protecting them from the energetic rays of the sun within their cool and ancient walls. Looking into these shadows, one feels the presence of a vast and unexplored frontier, a network of silent cathedrals waiting in the dark to be discovered. These hidden voids are the arteries of the moon's volcanic past, preserved in the boundless deep like secret rooms in a palace of stone. The moon's personality is defined by the way its different minerals interact with the light of the sun, a property known as albedo that varies across the shimmering landscape. The bright highlands, composed of ancient anorthosite, reflect a much higher percentage of light, appearing as luminous peaks of white and soft silver against the velvet sky. In contrast, the dark seas of the Maria are made of basaltic stone that absorbs more energy, creating the deep charcoal and gray regions that give the moon its character. This variation in reflectivity is a rhythmic map of the moon's geology, showing us where the ancient crust remains and where the molten stone once flowed to fill the low basins. It is a delicate balance of light and shadow that has guided our eyes for an eternity, a shimmering display of mineral beauty that reveals the history of the world in every ray of sunlight. The low overall albedo of the moon makes it a dark world in reality, yet it shines with a borrowed brilliance that lights our path through the eternal dark. In the quiet moments of the lunar cycle, the dark portion of the moon is often illuminated by a soft and ghostly blue glow known as earthshine, or the Da Vinci glow. This ethereal light is not coming directly from the sun, but is actually sunlight that has reflected off the Earth's vibrant oceans and clouds before traveling across the void to touch the lunar surface. It provides a gentle illumination to the shadows of the moon, allowing us to see the faint outlines of craters and mountains that would otherwise be lost in the boundless dark. This shimmering exchange of light is a beautiful reminder of the constant conversation between our two worlds, a rhythmic cycle of reflection that connects the Earth and the moon across the silence. It is a moment of profound peace, where the blue radiance of our home reaches out to hold its silver companion in a soft and luminous embrace. This reflected light is a bridge across the vacuum, a shimmering evidence of the bond that keeps our worlds together in the velvet night. Over the vast eons of time, the lunar regolith has experienced a slow and meditative transformation known as space weathering, a process that gradually changes the appearance of the stone. This occurs as the fine dust is touched by the constant rain of solar wind and the arrival of microscopic particles from the deep reaches of the galaxy. These subtle energies cause the minerals to darken and become more red over time, as tiny fragments of metallic iron are created within the shimmering grains of dust. A fresh crater will appear bright and youthful, but as it rests in the velvet silence, it will slowly fade and blend into the older, weathered landscape of the surrounding plains. This tanning of the moon is a quiet record of its long exposure to the environment of space, a rhythmic aging that adds depth and character to every mountain and valley. It is a process of soft erasure and subtle change, where the face of the moon is slowly matured by the touch of the eternal stars. The path of the moon around the Earth is tilted at a graceful angle of about 5 degrees relative to the path the Earth takes around the Sun. This subtle inclination is why we do not witness an eclipse every single month, as the moon's shadow usually passes safely above or below our home planet in the boundless dark. It is a delicate and rhythmic alignment that only occasionally brings the 3 celestial bodies into a perfect, shimmering line, creating the breathtaking moments of eclipse we cherish. This tilt adds a layer of complexity to the lunar dance, ensuring that each encounter between the Sun, Earth, and Moon is a unique and special event. It is a sign of the intricate and mathematical harmony that governs our solar system, a world of motion where every degree and every second is part of a grand and beautiful design. We wait with patient wonder for these moments of alignment, knowing they are the result of a perfectly balanced and ancient celestial mechanics. Within the nearly perfect vacuum of the lunar environment, there is a slow and rhythmic movement of dust particles that drift across the surface in a process driven by electrical energy. As the sun's light touches the regolith, it creates a soft charge that can cause the smallest grains to levitate and move toward the dark, shadowed regions of the landscape. This creates a faint and shimmering horizon glow during the transitions of the lunar day, as a thin mist of stone particles floats above the ground in the velvet silence. This movement is a reminder that the moon is a place of subtle activity, where even without wind or water, the landscape is in a state of constant, microscopic motion. It is a world of light and energy, where the dust itself responds to the call of the stars in a quiet and eternal ballet across the shimmering plains. These floating grains are like ghosts of the soil, dancing in the airless void as the world moves through the boundless deep. The mass of our silver companion is a gentle fraction of our own world's weight, totaling only about 1/81st of the Earth's total mass within its silent sphere. This difference in scale means that while the moon is a substantial and majestic world in its own right, it lacks the deep internal pressure required to maintain the vibrant, churning heat of a larger planet. As we drift through the boundless dark, we can appreciate how this specific balance of mass has allowed the moon to cool into a state of eternal peace, preserving its ancient features for billions of years. Its volume is similarly modest, fitting roughly 50 times into the space occupied by the Earth, a shimmering pearl beside a grand blue marble. This relationship of size and weight is a fundamental rhythm of our dual system, ensuring that the moon remains a graceful and light presence in the velvet night. The quiet gravity that results from this mass is the invisible hand that shapes the movement of the dust and the slow, rhythmic dance of our tides. In the modern era, the moon lacks a global magnetic field, a silence of energy that stands in stark contrast to the vibrant, protective shield that surrounds the Earth. Without a churning metallic dynamo at its heart, the lunar surface is laid bare to the soft and constant touch of the solar wind and the shimmering particles from the deep reaches of the nebula. This absence of a magnetic veil means that the moon has become a perfect collector of cosmic history, gathering the atoms of the stars within its fine gray regolith for an eternity. While the Earth deflects the energy of the sun, the moon absorbs it with a quiet grace, allowing the solar history to be written directly into the shimmering grains of stone. This lack of a protective field is what allows the lunar exosphere to remain so thin and ethereal, a world of perfect clarity where the vacuum of space meets the solid ground. It is a reminder of the moon's transition from an active, glowing youth to a state of profound and airless equilibrium in the boundless dark. When seismic waves move through the interior of the moon, they travel with a unique and rhythmic clarity because the world is so incredibly dry and solid. Unlike the Earth, where liquid water and soft sediments act as a cushion to dampen the movement of energy, the lunar stone is rigid and ancient, allowing vibrations to ring through the world like a bell. A small release of energy on the surface can send ripples through the crust that last for a long and beautiful duration, a metallic resonance that speaks to the moon's crystalline nature. This transparency to seismic energy has allowed scientists to map the hidden layers of the mantle and the small, quiet core with the precision of a master architect. It reveals a world that is fundamentally different from our own, a place where the stone is a pure conductor of movement in the eternal silence. To listen to the moon's internal pulse is to hear the song of a world that has been refined by the deep cold and the passage of boundless time. The cooling of the lunar core was a slow and majestic process, a rhythmic loss of heat that eventually brought the moon's early magnetic era to a peaceful conclusion. Billions of years ago, when the interior was still warm and vibrant, the liquid metal at the center moved in a graceful dance, creating a field that once reached out into the velvet dark. As the moon matured, this internal fire slowly faded, and the metallic heart solidified into a quiet and heavy anchor that no longer generates a global shield. We find the evidence of this lost energy in the shimmering magnetic signatures frozen into the ancient rocks of the highlands, a permanent memory of a more energetic past. This transition from a world of active fields to one of magnetic stillness is a natural part of the lunar life cycle, a slow drifting toward the stability of the cosmic night. The solid core now rests in the center of the sphere, a heavy and silent witness to the era when the moon first found its place among the stars. For a traveler resting on the lunar surface, a solar eclipse takes on a magnificent and different form. As the Earth moves to hide the sun behind its vibrant blue atmosphere. During this shimmering alignment, the Earth appears as a dark silhouette surrounded by a glowing, reddish ring of light, which is actually the collective glow of every sunrise and sunset happening on our planet at once. This soft, copper radiance washes over the lunar landscape, turning the gray plains and the white mountains into a world of deep, warm colors for a few hours of celestial magic. It is a profound reversal of the perspective we enjoy from the ground, a rhythmic exchange of shadow and light that connects the two worlds in a single, beautiful event. The boundless dark of the lunar sky is briefly filled with the reflected warmth of the Earth's breath, a shimmering bridge of light that spans the vacuum. This event is a reminder of the intimate bond shared by our dual system, a moment where the Earth's presence is felt most deeply in the silence of the moon. The oxygen isotopes found within the lunar stones carry a signature that is virtually identical to those found in the Earth's own mantle. A scientific harmony that points toward a shared and intimate birth. This chemical similarity is a shimmering thread that ties the two worlds together, suggesting they were formed from the same reservoir of material in the early solar nebula. In a universe where every planet and asteroid carries its own unique isotopic fingerprint, this perfect match between the Earth and the Moon is a rare and beautiful synchronicity. It supports the vision of a celestial rebirth, where a piece of our young world was set free to become the silver guardian we see tonight. This shared heritage is written into every atom of the lunar regolith, a quiet testament to the fact that the moon is not a stranger, but a reflection of our home. Every grain of dust we study is a piece of a larger story, a rhythmic connection that has endured for over 4,000 million years. As spacecraft move through the low lunar orbit, they encounter a landscape of gravitational variation that makes the path around the moon a complex and shifting journey. Certain regions, influenced by the heavy mascons hidden beneath the Maria, exert a stronger pull that causes a drifting satellite to rise and fall in a rhythmic, undulating motion. These gravitational anomalies are so pronounced that most low orbits around the moon are naturally unstable, eventually drawing objects toward the shimmering surface in a slow and graceful descent. Only a few specific paths, known as frozen orbits, allow a traveler to remain in the lunar heavens for a long and stable duration without constant adjustment. This textured gravity is a map of the moon's internal diversity, showing us where the ancient lavas settled and where the crust remains thick and light. It reminds us that even in the vacuum, there is a structure to the space around the moon, a set of invisible currents guided by the weight of the ancient stone. The presence of radioactive elements like thorium and uranium within the lunar CREEP layer provided a source of internal warmth that helped the moon stay active long after its initial formation. These elements, concentrated in the final remnants of the magma ocean, acted as a slow-burning furnace that released energy into the surrounding mantle over billions of years. This hidden heat was a vital force in the creation of the late volcanic flows that filled the basins, shaping the face of the moon we admire in the velvet night. It is a rhythmic decay of atoms that has provided the moon with a long and nuanced geological life, allowing for a gradual transition from a molten state to a cold and quiet world. Even now, the faint remnants of this heat may still linger in the deepest parts of the lunar interior, a shimmering legacy of the energy that once defined the young solar system. This radioactive signature is a vital clue for scientists, helping them to calculate the exact timing of the moon's most important transformations. Over the vast spans of cosmic time, the distance between the Earth and the moon has slowly expanded, a rhythmic drifting that has fundamentally altered the appearance of our sky. In the earliest days of our partnership, the moon was much closer and appeared as a massive, luminous orb that dominated the heavens with an intense and shimmering light. As it has gathered momentum from the tidal exchange, it has retreated further into the boundless dark, a slow farewell that continues at the pace of a few centimeters every year. This journey has not only changed our view, but has also slowed the Earth's own rotation, creating a more peaceful and stable environment for the evolution of life. We are living in a perfect moment where the balance of distance and size allows for the majesty of total eclipses, a shimmering coincidence of time and space. The moon's slow departure is a sign of the universe's constant motion, a rhythmic expansion of our shared boundaries that will continue for billions of years to come. The moon stands as a magnificent mirror to the Earth's early history, preserving the record of the first billion years of our solar system that has been lost on our own vibrant world. Because the moon lacks the constant renewal of plate tectonics and the erosion of wind and rain, it remains a pristine archive of the era when the planets were first finding their form. By studying the craters and the ancient stones of the lunar highlands, we are effectively looking into a shimmering pool that reflects our own world's forgotten infancy. The moon has guarded these secrets with a patient and unwavering devotion, holding the history of the sun and the stars within its gray and dusty embrace. It is more than just a satellite. It is a vital part of our identity as a planet, a companion that has shared every step of our long and drifting journey through the cosmos. As we look up at its steady light, we find a sense of profound peace and continuity. knowing that the moon will remain our silent witness in the eternal silence for all time. As we drift slowly away from the shimmering plains of the moon, we feel the immense weight of the eons resting in the silence. Our journey through the 100 stories of this celestial companion has revealed a world that is not a distant stranger, but a mirror of our own ancient beginnings. We have witnessed the graceful merging of worlds that gave the moon its form, and the slow, rhythmic cooling of the magma ocean that turned liquid starlight into solid stone. We have walked through the fine, powdery regolith, realizing that every step on the surface is a step into a museum of the entire solar system. The moon remains there, suspended in the velvet dark, a silent guardian that has stabilized our home and guided the pulse of our oceans since the first breath of time. Its mountains stand as eternal monuments to the transformation of the cosmos, unchanging and profound in their silver beauty. The connection between our two worlds is written in the very atoms of the stone, a shared chemistry that proves we are part of one grand, celestial family. As we look back from the deep dark, the moon appears as it always has, a steady and luminous anchor in the boundless deep. The rhythmic movement of the tides on Earth is a constant reminder of this invisible bond, a physical vibration of gravity that ties us to the heavens. There is a deep and lasting peace in knowing that this silver witness will continue its patient watch for billions of years to come. The secrets hidden in the cold traps of the poles and the ancient lava tubes below the surface will remain safe in the eternal silence of the vacuum. Our exploration tonight is only a small moment in the vast timeline of the lunar world, a quiet whisper in the infinite reaches of the stars. Now, as the light of the moon fades into a soft and gentle glow in the distance, we return our awareness to the stillness of our own surroundings. The universe continues its slow and majestic rotation, moving with a grace that surpasses all human understanding. We carry the wisdom of the moon with us, the stillness of its craters, the resilience of its stone, and the unwavering light that guides us through the darkest nights. Let the memory of the lunar plains bring a sense of profound calm to your spirit, as wide and deep as the ocean of storms. The silence of the cosmos is a gift, a place where the mind can finally find its rest among the shimmering galaxies. You are a part of this grand architecture, a traveler in the boundless deep, safe and secure in the rhythm of the stars. May the silver light of our companion watch over you as you drift into a deep and peaceful rest. Good night, and may your dreams be as vast and beautiful as the moon itself.